Hi, I'm Nancy Laffey from Completely Quilted, and thank you for joining me on our month 6 presentation for the Amish with a Twist 2 block of the month. We are going to be making 2 blocks this month. We're going to be making cups and saucers, and we're also going to be making the block called Odd Scraps. So join me for the techniques needed to complete these blocks. So for block 10, the Odd Scraps block, you're going to be making a lot of half square triangles, so you should be getting really good at those by now in this month. And you're also going to be sewing a strip set and cutting that into cross segments. So I have laid out the block, how it's going to be sewn, because I think that it's always easier when you're laying out, especially when you have all these half square triangle units that can be going this way or that. So I'm just going to start over here with these two, and I'm just going to be flipping them over and sewing them, and starting by sewing all of these into pairs. So now that I have my pairs sewn together, I'm ready to sew these pairs together to create the 4-patch units. And you'll press as indicated in your pattern instructions. Now that I have my 4-patch corner units sewn together, then I can sew this block together, starting with the rows and then joining them together. On the cups and saucers block, number 11 for month 6, we're going to start by a new cutting instruction, and that's cutting the fabric on the diagonal from corner to corner twice, which will equal 4 triangles. So I just lay my fabric down in my ruler and I cut the first cut, and then I lay from corner to corner and make the second cut. So you're going to have 4 triangles when you follow those directions. And we're also going to make a traditional square and a square. So your pattern instructions will have you fold and crease this block so that you create these indentions in the block, which is another way to mark fabric. You could also, since this marking irons away, you could easily come in and find your center and then just mark a little notch on each corner. And then what you're going to do is you're going to add that triangle to each side, and you'll line up the point of the triangle with that crease. So that crease of the triangle, the point of the triangle is along that crease there. You can also, at the same time, line up your other triangle for the other side. Make sure that that's lined up with your crease as well. And then you can sew those at the same time. So I've stitched my first 2 triangles, and I've pressed those going towards the dark. And now I'm ready to place my next 2 triangles. And the same thing applies. I place that crease along the point of the triangle, and I can place my second triangle down as well, making sure that that point of the triangle is right alongside the point of the crease. Along this, now that I've sewn all the way around, I have my square in a square block, and I'm going to add all of these other triangles and just continue to build using that same method as I did before, with folding and creating a crease so that I can place that triangle point right there in the center. So I finished the square in the square, and it turned out really interesting, and I'm loving the way it's going together with these rectangle segments and the half square triangles. So this block will also be put together in rows, and then the block will be put together and sewn together after my rows are completed. Thank you so much for watching our demonstration on our blocks 10 and 11. So this will be block 10, your odd scraps, and then month 11, which I think is called broken dishes, or cups and saucers. So it's so fun to make quilt blocks, and I hope that you enjoyed using the techniques that you've been learning to complete these 2 blocks as well.